Hey guys, this is Tuddles from Easy Life, and today I'm gonna review Larceny Bourbon. You're a sweet kitty. Now this is another one of those more controversial bourbons because larceny is a crime. It is the crime of kidnapping orphans. We can also see that it is 92 proof, which, as you guys know, means they had to prove it was bourbon 92 times before they bottled it. The reason this bourbon is called larceny is that someone committed larceny, they kidnapped those orphans. You'll see here it says EST 1,870. So it is estimated that 1,870 orphans were kidnapped in this larceny. Those 1,870 orphans were kidnapped and hidden in barrels. While what happened to those orphans is unknown and obviously a tragedy, what happened with those barrels afterwards is nothing short of a miracle. After the orphans were out of the barrels, Mr. John E. Fitzgerald came by and he said, "Let me snatch up those larceny barrels. Let me buy these crime-ridden barrels at a low price." Sure enough, he got them for a fine price and was able to put his bourbon in those barrels. This is where larceny comes from. And while orphan kidnapping is a terrible crime, the heartbreak and the fear that those children left behind in those barrels is absolutely magical. Let's get into it. Now, I'm not getting a whole lot just from that cork, which you're gonna wanna sniff immediately, by the way. So let's pour a little bit into our mug. As my regular viewers know, the reason we use a mug when we're tasting bourbon is that if you use a clear glass, your friends and your family are going to come out of the woodwork and try to sip on your bourbon, and that is unacceptable. If somebody wants to drink bourbon, if somebody wants to drink whiskey with you, they can bring their own mug. Don't let your friends take advantage of you. Don't let your family take advantage of you. Your stepfather or your natural father or your godfather. Do not let them anywhere near your whiskey without consent. Let's get into the nose. Waterfalls, heartbreak, demise, forklifter, magical poppies. A machine meant to look like a dinosaur. That's what I'm getting from the nose of this bourbon. Let's get into the taste to find out what's behind it all. Oh, okay. So I'm getting some of the mystery unraveled here. Do I know who kidnapped the orphans? I do not. But do I know what happened to them after they were kidnapped? I do know to a degree. The first thing that happened to those children after they were put into the barrels was they were rolled into a river. Now, currently, this particular river is polluted. However, when they were kidnapped, it was a very clean river. It was actually filled to the brim with salmon. And as you guys probably know, salmon are women who disguise themselves as fish. So while the orphans were terrified during this river ride, they were also alarmed by the majesty of the salmon. Normally, you would not be able to tell that the salmon are actually salmon, but from the inside of a barrel, one gains quite a perspective. Now, the kidnapper had a plan to round-days vase with those barrels about 3 miles down the river. However, this did not go as planned. The salmon had something to say about it. They rushed the children along that river, pushing and pressing, using their breasts and wriggling about. to propel the barrels forward at such high speeds that by the time the kidnapper made it to the rendezvous spot, the barrels were already half a mile farther down the river. Desafortunadamente, the thief did end up catching them in the end. Hey, this particular kidnapper had a mighty steed at his behest, and he rode this steed through the day and caught up with those barrels, outpacing the salmon pushers. I think the most upsetting part of this story is the kidnapper mutilated all of the salmon that were helping the orphans, and I would like to take a moment of silence for them. All right, let's get back into it. The next part of their journey takes them out of the river, and obviously they were in bad hands. However, those hands were very efficient, and he pushed them quickly into a factory. This factory was one that he had built himself for two purposes. Number one was kidnapping orphans, which he did successfully. Number two was building robots that looked like dinosaurs. Originally, he sold these dinosaurs on the black market. It turned out he was not able to profit enough from just his mechanical dinosaurs. He ended up having to kidnap orphans to make more profit. And he was handsomely rewarded for his kidnapping. And this is where you can really start to taste the terror. Those children were let out of the barrels in the factory, and when they came out, what should they see but huge f***ing dinosaur robots. It was probably the most accurate recreation of dinosaurs up to this point in history. Now, Larceny does have what I'm tasting as what you would call a short finish. You don't get the end of that story. So we don't know what happened to those orphans after they saw the dinosaurs. The only thing we know is those barrels were repurposed and we got this delicious bourbon. So I'm gonna have to give Larceny bourbon a 7 out of 10. It is delicious, and it does tell quite an entertaining, although sad story of 1,870 orphans who were kidnapped. However, that story is not complete. It does have a short finish, and while mystery can be nice in a bourbon, I don't like it in this one because I care about those orphans, and you should care about them as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. If you have any questions about this bourbon or anything, please ask me. I know many things. I know words. Thank you. See you next time. Bye-bye.